Hola! Okay, so today we're going to work on the weather. So we were working on the seasons, and now we're going to join in the weather. Now, you probably heard some weather words when you were listening to the songs. And there's going to be a lot of weather words. You're going to learn how to say it's raining, it's snowing. But you only need to know these 6 words, okay? So those are the ones you have to know, but you're going to get exposed to a lot more as you listen to the vocabulary about seasons and weather, okay? Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is you're going to need a blank piece of paper to fill in the vocabulary. Now, if you have your paper with the seasons on it, you could just use the back. Okay, so if you already have that one, or you can print out the paper that's a PDF, okay? Or you can just get a blank piece of paper and draw these as we go along, okay? Now, we're going to talk about our essential question for the weather is ¿Qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? That means, what's the weather like, okay? And the word for weather is el tiempo. That also means time, but el tiempo, so a lot of times I'll say tiempo when we're playing a game, that means time out, okay? But el tiempo is also the weather. So, our essential question for this unit is, ¿Qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? Notice I didn't say ¿Qué tiempo hace? Because the H in Spanish is silent. Okay, so here's our word. ¿Qué tiempo hace? ¿Qué tiempo hace? That means, what's the weather like? Okay, so this first picture is a penguin, and he is sweating. See his beads of sweat? And he has a fan. Okay, so he's very hot. So I wrote on my paper, it's hot, okay? It's hot. And then I drew a picture of this penguin. Again, this is not art class. And he's sweating and his tongue is hanging out and he's got a fan because it's hot, baby. It's hot outside. Okay. And when you want to say it's hot in Spanish, you say hace mucho calor. Everybody go like this with your hands because we will be playing a little charades in a few weeks, okay? So go like this with your hands. Say, hace mucho calor. Hace mucho calor means it's very hot, okay? So I'm going to write that down. Hace, remember the H in Spanish is silent. Hace mucho, mucho means a lot. Calor. Hace mucho calor. Okay, so I want you to write that on your paper. You can pause the video, draw something that means hot. I just drew a penguin because that's on the paper. If you did print this paper out, that's the penguin. On your paper, it already says hace mucho calor. So you're going to copy that on the line up top, okay? Escribe las frases en español. Write the word phrases in Spanish. So you're going to write hace mucho calor. If you're just doing it on a blank piece of paper, you're going to write it just once like I did. Hace mucho calor. And you might want to even write, it's hot. And draw something that reminds you of hot. Okay? All right. And everybody go like this. Say, hace mucho calor. Good. Now the next one we're going to do, this penguin, he's hot. He has a fan, but he's not sweating. He's just hot with a fan. Okay? So you're going to take one hand, not two, and say, hace calor. Hace calor. That just means it's hot or it's warm. Okay, so hace mucho calor means it's hot. It's very hot. And hace calor just means it's warm. Hace calor. Notice I didn't say hace calor because the H in Spanish is silent. I said hace calor. Hace calor. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and write hace calor. Make sure you have hace mucho calor. Okay. All right, now the next penguin, he has a hat on, if you can tell. This is my penguin. He's wearing a little winter hat. He's not freezing cold. He's just a little cold. Okay? He's not freezing cold. He's just a little cold. So I want you to rub your forearms and say, hace fresco. Hace fresco. That just means it's cool outside. Hace fresco. I'm going to write that in blue, I think. Because the red kind of reminds you of hot and blue kind of reminds you of cold. Hace fresco. hace fresco. Okay, that means it's cool. Notice I didn't say hace fresco because the H in Spanish is silent. I said hace fresco. Okay, so I want you to pause the video, draw something that reminds you of cool weather, and write hace fresco. Okay? All right, good. Now we rub our forearms. We say hace fresco. Hace fresco. So the first one, very hot, hace mucho calor. The second one, warm, one hand, hace calor. The next one is cool, hace fresco, hace fresco. Okay. Now the next one, my penguin, if you can see, he is all bundled up. My penguin, he's got a scarf, a hat, and gloves. I don't know if penguins wear gloves or scarves or hats, but my penguin does, okay? And we're gonna do the word for cold. It's cold. So when it's cold, you're gonna go like this on your upper arms and say, hace frío, hace frío, okay? Hace frío. So you're gonna write that now. Hace frío. And draw a picture of something that reminds you of the cold. Okay. So you can pause the video and do that. We're gonna go over these first four, okay? So we have hace mucho calor. Hace calor, hace fresco, hace frío. Good, again, hace mucho calor, hace calor, hace fresco, hace frío. Okay, now there's two more. There's no more penguins though. It's just a picture of a sun. If you want to say, and I wrote, it's sunny. It's sunny. If you want to say, if I ask you, ¿qué tiempo hace? And you want to tell me it's sunny, you would say, hace sol. Hace sol. S-O-L. Sol. Hace sol. Move you a little closer. Okay? So we have a sun, and I wrote, hace sol. And then I wrote, it's sunny, so I can remember that. Okay? Now, if you're doing the printed out paper, it already has a picture of a sun for you. And it already says, hace sol. You're going to write hace sol on the line, okay? Okay. So the hand movement for hace sol is you have to make like a big sun with your arms like this. Hace sol, okay? Hace sol. Practice that. Okay, good. And then the last one, these are the 6 you need to know. Remember, you're going to learn a lot more, but these are the ones you need to know. Is a picture of a leaf. And it's blowing in the wind. And again, Lisa-Fernandez is not a super artist, but that's how I draw, okay? And you're gonna write, hace viento. Hace viento. So you can pause this video, and you can look up here and write hace viento. That's V-I-E-N-T-O. Viento. Okay. And for that one, you go like this with your arms and you say hace viento. Hace viento. Now, of course, if we were back in our classroom, we would definitely play charades. I would actually put you into groups and give you weather, and you would have to act it out. And the kids really love that. But since we're not in our classroom, we can't do that right now. Okay? So what we are going to do is I want everybody to stand up at home after you finish writing the vocabulary words, and I want you to just practice the hand movements, okay? So we have hace mucho calor. Good. Hace calor. Hace fresco. Hace frío. Hace sol. Hace viento. Okay, again, ready? Now, for hace sol, I used to go like this, but then kids were confused, so I just made a sun with it, okay? All right, so again, we have hace mucho calor. Hace calor. Hace fresco. Hace frío. Hace sol. Hace viento. Okay, so we will try to play some games during our meet with this, okay? So we can't do all the games we would normally do, but we can do some. Okay, so I'm going to hold this back up. And I want you to make sure you have this. And you can pause the video here, okay? Make sure you have this all written out. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Adios.